All right, then next we are now in Unit 2, which is polynomials, and the first lesson in polynomials is multiplying monomials. So before we multiply them, we need to know what they are. So, a monomial is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and a variable. So I'm going to give an example of each, even though I don't really think I need to give an example of a number, but we'll do it anyway. So a number, so these are the examples. 4 is a monomial, x squared is a monomial, or 4x squared is a monomial. These are all examples of monomials. It's really basically just one term. One term. You should see the word mono in monomials. That means one. All right, so the rule for multiplying monomials. When the bases are the same, you keep the base and add the exponents. So when the bases are the same, you keep the base and add the exponents. All right, so for those of you who don't remember what a base is, if I have 3 squared, 3 is the base and 2 is the exponent. So we're now going to go through about 6 problems of multiplying monomials. So the directions will say simplify. Let's take a look at example number 1. I've got y to the 4th times y to the 5th. So if I take a look at this problem, the bases are the same. They're both y's, so I'm going to keep that base and add the exponents. So 4 plus 5, that's giving us 9. So I've got y to the 9th. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at number 2. I've got b times b to the 12th times b to the 4th. Again, all the bases are the same. It's b. So I'm going to keep the base and I'm going to add the exponents. Now this first b here, if you notice there's no exponent there. That means there really is one, you just don't see it, it's a 1. So I'm going to do 1 plus 12 plus 4. When I add that up, that's giving me 17. So b to the 17th. Take a look at example number 3. Now we're going to put a couple of variables together. I have a b squared times a cubed b to the 6th. And if you notice, the first problem there was a multiplication dot. The other problems have parentheses, and that's fine. They both mean the same thing. It's still multiplication. So I'm going to take a look at the a's first. Since there are 2 variables, you have to do one at a time. So if I take a look at the a's, I'm going to add these exponents. So that's 1 plus 3. I'm going to stop writing this addition piece now. I did it for the first couple of problems. I'm not going to do it for the remaining ones. All we're doing is 1 plus 3. That's giving us 4. And then I'm going to add the exponents on the b's. So 2 plus 6, that's giving us 8. So that's a to the 4th, b to the 8th. All right, now let's take a look at when there's a coefficient out in front. Well, we do have coefficients out in front here, but they're 1s. So let's take a look at when the number is not a 1, it's greater than 1. So I have 3x cubed y to the 4th times negative 4xy squared z. So those numbers out in front, those coefficients, since the operation is multiplication, I'm going to multiply these numbers that are out in front. So that's giving us negative 12. Now I'm going to take a look at the x's. I have x cubed in the first parentheses, x to the first in the second parentheses, 3 plus 1, that's giving us 4. Let's take a look at the y's. Y to the 4th, y to the 2nd. Maybe I'll do these little arrows here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So 4 plus 2, that's giving us 6. And then I've got this z over here in the second parentheses. I don't have it in the first. It doesn't matter. All that means is I'm just going to put it at the end. So it's negative 12, x to the 4th, y to the 6th, z. All right, let's take a look at number 5. I've got negative 6c squared d to the 4th times c cubed d to the 5th. So for this problem, we have a coefficient of negative 6 in the first parentheses, but there's no number in that second parentheses. There really is a number there, it's 1. So I'm really doing negative 6 times 1, which gives us a negative 6. I've got 2 c's in the first parentheses, 3 in the second. The bases are the same. I'm going to add those exponents. That becomes c to the 5th. And then I've got 4 d's here, 5 d's here. 4 plus 5, that's giving us 9. So I have d to the 9th. So negative 6, c to the 5th, d to the 9th. Let's take a look at the last problem. Now this last problem is going to have 3 parentheses. I've got 2ab squared times negative 3a cubed b times 4a squared bc cubed. Now it doesn't matter if there are 2 parentheses, 4 parentheses, 3 parentheses, you're going to take those coefficients, those numbers out in front of the variables, and you're going to multiply them. So I've got 2 times negative 3 times 4. You multiply, that's the operation, that's what's happening in between each parentheses. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 times 4 is negative 24. I've got 1a here, 3a's here, so that's 4, plus another 2, that's giving us 6. So a to the 6th. I've got 2 b's here, 1 b here, 1 b here, so 2 plus 1, that's giving us 4. And then I don't have any c's here, no c's here, but I've got c cubed here. So that's going to be part of my answer. So it's negative 24, a to the 6th, b to the 4th, c cubed. And I know I'm done because I don't have any repeating variables. I've got 1 of each base. And that is multiplying monomials.